Betrayal tends to come from people who are closest to us. That's why it is one of the most hardest emotions to deal with. You might be betrayed by a co-worker in whom you've confided in, a family member, a romantic partner, or your best friend. Betrayal can also come from a group situation. You might feel betrayed if several of your friends spread a nasty rumor about you, or if you are excluded from an event. Whether you choose to rebuild a betrayed trust or not, you will deal best with betrayal if you take care of yourself and practice forgiveness.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's Finding Answers. Our topic tonight, as you could see in the video, we're talking about betrayal. And we know it's not something to be taken lightly, something that maybe you at some point in life had an experience with, something concerning your job. Someone stabbed you in the back to get a position, pretended to be your friend, and maybe you even shared some particular things, personal things with this person, and later on it was used against you. Or I think what hurts even the most when it comes to a romantic relationship, putting so much effort, so much trust, and then having a huge disappointment. Some people believe that once that happens, it's like something you simply can't heal, you can't ever overcome. But as usual, as we always present here in Finding Answers, there's a way to overcome this. If this is an issue to you, if it damaged you to the point that right now you see that you don't even trust people anymore, you're suspicious of even honest people. Maybe you actually don't believe there's honest people anymore. But the truth is that there are. And if we carry this suspicion about everyone, even your own shadow, it's something that can hurt you. It can rob you of so many opportunities. It can actually make you someone who becomes isolated from everything and everyone. And evidently, it's impossible to be completely, fully happy, living isolated from everyone and everybody, being suspicious of your own shadow. Evidently, you don't want to live like this. But then again, how do you overcome something like this? I want to show you this picture here. Don't know if we can see well. How does this lady look to you? How does her face look? Happy, right? Happy, positive. What if I told you that the beginning of her story is not beautiful? This lady was at some point even taking drugs, going to parties, trying to fill the gap. She became a single mother. Huge disappointment. So how was it possible for her to overcome to the point she today, in the present day, be smiling like this, be sincerely and honestly happy? It's what you're going to find out right now. Watch carefully. Take 2 to 3 minutes to watch the story of Lisa Hodgkinson to find out how faith helped her overcome the serious betrayal and the damages that it brought when she suffered it. Let's watch.
After my first failed marriage, I really started to suffer with depression. I then started looking for love in the wrong places. I started dating other people here and abroad, and I still felt so alone, but I was really desperate to find someone to fill that gap. I then married again, and that relationship failed as well, but this time I had a child as well. This is probably one of the worst moments of my life. Failed relationships and alone with a child. I felt desperate, I felt lonely, I felt empty, I felt rejected, I felt there was nothing else for me to live for. During my search for happiness, I turned to drugs, partying, meeting different people, and nothing would make me happy, nothing would fulfill me, nothing would allow me to have peace. I got to a point that I'd had enough of everything, had enough of my life. I just wanted happiness, I just wanted to be fulfilled. So I decided to accept an invitation from a friend, and I started to learn that there was help. And that help was through my faith, through searching God, through His Word, and really putting into practice the things that I learned. I understood firstly that I didn't have to suffer, and that actually I wasn't alone. I started to do chains of prayers. I started to make specific prayers for myself, to look after myself, to go deep and not just look at the circumstances around me. Through those prayers, things started to change inside of me. The way that I saw myself, the way that I saw my life, to know that actually I could be happy and I didn't need to depend on anyone else. Today, the way I see myself is completely different. I'm fulfilled, I'm a happy person, I'm assertive, I'm able to make decisions, I'm able to move forward, I have a career, I have family. Everything that I thought was impossible for my life, today is possible, and there are no limits.
So as you could see, faith was a big game changer in the story of Lisa. And this is a power. Faith is a power. A power that once you learn how to use it, if you master the power of faith, you master the use of the power of faith, simply there are unlimited possibilities. Unlimited possibilities. You see, she could overcome. She still has her child. It wasn't easy. She's succeeding in life, a happy person. I'm talking about Lisa. And I have the two live guests, Louise and Ronica, right?
Yeah.
Both of you had your separate stories of betrayal. Yes?
Yes.
In your case, it was a romantic relationship. It has to do with love life.
Yes.
In your case, also love life, and you said also friends.
Yes.
Which I believe are the most two damaging betrayals there are, right?
Yes.
But you overcame.
I overcame.
Right?
Yes.
You're not bitter.
No.
You're not suspicious of your shadow.
No.
No, you overcame this through the power of faith.
Through the power of
So you're going to sit on the chair over there. Very soon we're going to be speaking to you, okay?
Yes.
And to you, viewer, listen, bitterness. Bitterness sometimes is something that comes, is a root that stems from betrayal, from being the victim of a betrayal. And bitterness is something that is difficult to uproot because it's something inside. It comes from convictions, from thoughts, from ideas that seem to be so true. The bitterness can come even from a thought that you are protecting yourself. No, I have to protect myself. I'm not bitter. But I have to be suspicious. I cannot open up because if I do, I'm giving someone the chance to do it to me again. Edward, I've been through this once. I don't want to put myself through it again. Fine. I'm not saying that you can't be careful. Some people say you can't be too careful. That's right. I'm not telling you that you have to be gullible. I'm not telling you that you have to be naive. I'm not telling you that you have to trust in just, everybody that you barely know. Maybe this was the reason why you got betrayed to begin with. You were gullible. You were not careful enough. But now, the fact that you were on one extreme, gullible, too naive, too trusting, you trusted people you barely knew, doesn't have to take you to the other extreme. This is the problem with most people, Either we find ourselves in one extreme or the other. We can never find balance. Ideally, should have balance. I'm not going to be too trusting. I'm not going to be gullible, naive, but at the same time, I don't have to be someone who is suspicious of everybody, who assumes that everyone must have a hidden agenda, that everyone must have an ulterior motive. Everyone must have, some bad intention. No one can do good out of the sheer goodwill. Maybe you don't believe in goodwill anymore. And if you don't, then I have to tell you, chances are that you are already suffering from bitterness and you don't even know. Once again, that's the danger of it. It's something that hurts you, that is in there, and you might not even be aware. What's more dangerous than a sickness, an issue that is there, and the one who has the issue is not even aware of it? I would say it's a dangerous thing. But then again, how can I get help, Edward? Listen, we're going to show you here, especially through the story of Louise and Ronica. And I am certain that their story will inspire you. But in the meantime, if you're having problems related to betrayal or any other problem that is taking away your peace, because maybe your life is consumed day and night thinking about this issue, about this problem. You can't shake it off your mind. So we have advisors here now. This is a live program. Wherever you're watching us, from London, from any part of the UK, Ireland, Wales, anywhere in the world via internet where you have access to a phone, you can call this number, 0207-686-6300. Take note of this number. At any given moment of the program, you will call. Someone is standing by to speak to you, a trained advisor who will not judge you, who will listen to you and give you the proper attention that your issue deserves. Okay? Alternatively, if you are the kind of person who prefers to send an email, we do have an email address. It is help@findinganswers.tv. Okay? I want to take this opportunity before we go to the break, and then I will speak to our guests to tell you that you can find episodes of Finding Answers on YouTube. Just search for Finding Answers on our YouTube channel, and there you're going to find episodes about depression, addictions, pornography, domestic violence, self-harm, all different issues attacking and affecting our today's society. And also you can find us on Facebook. Just search for Finding Answers, and there, like our page, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can constantly receive updates. Let's go to a break, and when we come back, I will be speaking to Louise and Ronica. They will share how faith helped them, how a relationship with God helped them be strong enough to overcome the damage brought by betrayal.
Hi everyone, I'm James.
And I am Helena.
Join us here every Saturday at 3 p.m. for Love Talk,
The show that teaches you how to love intelligently.
on my channel Sky 203.
See you there.
Love Talk on my channel Sky 203 every Saturday 3 p.m.
Do the maths. Changing your life is not as simple as changing your hairstyle, your shirt, or rearranging the furniture in your living room. You're talking about years of deep-rooted habits, behaviours and problems that are not going to change overnight. Many may say, think positively, but the trouble with that is that you can't do or change anything with just thoughts. But add action into the equation and the outcome can be different. Let's do the maths. Positive thinking plus action equals a change. Whatever it is, if the change is significant, if it's worthwhile, then it will have to take time, effort, and homework from you.
Pushing me for the rest of the week, so it's like a boost.
Things were really tight.
Today, the way I see myself is completely different.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Our topic tonight is betrayal. How faith empowers someone who's being a victim of such a terrible thing to overcome, to be someone who doesn't carry bitterness or unduly suspicions or anything of that sort. By the way, prayer is not everything. Prayer, you could say, is a very important piece, right, in the machine, you could say, called faith. It's a fundamental one, but it's not everything. There's more things we have to do if we want to connect with God, but prayer is a way. So much so that we want to pray on your behalf towards the end of tonight's episode. Okay, I have a glass of water. You can prepare yours and leave it close to your TV set. When it's about 10 minutes before the hour, we will join faith and pray. If you want to put 2 glasses of water, share with a loved one. If you're at work, you want to bless someone, bless yourself, feel free to do so. But now is the moment for us to speak to our live guests. So once again, good evening and thank you, okay, for coming.
Good evening.
Starting with you, Ronica, you said betrayal was relationship, romantic relationship, and also with friends.
Yes.
Talk to us about it, please.
Starting with friends, I had a really close friend of mine. We were really close friends. We were like sisters. So we did everything together. So she got involved with someone I advised her not to. And because we were so close, they kept it behind my back. They were seeing each other. When I would ask them questions, she would lie about it. Then they became a group of friends together, and then they would just leave me out. So she betrayed me. She was telling other people my stuff. These other people really didn't like me as well. So this was my best friend who then went off with this guy, which was actually my cousin. Mm-hmm. And then I told her again what kind of person he was at the time. Then she was just like, she despised me completely, told her new friends what was going on and how she felt about me and everything like that. So
we're talking about someone that you used to consider like your best friend. Mm-hmm. And you saw your best friend becoming friends with someone? Was it that you said it wasn't?
I saw her becoming intimate with my cousin.
Okay,
with a relative
so the person
of mine.
was your cousin?
Yeah, it was a relative
right?
of mine, yes.
And you saw something about his character at the time mm-hmm. that could potentially be
damaging for my friend.
Damaging for your friend, and you alerted her.
I alerted her mm-hmm. and I warned her, and then she just went behind my back, of course, when I was asking her questions or when I was seeing where she was at. If I wanted to meet with her, she wouldn't want to be around me anymore. She got a new set of friends and put me to the side. So then that betrayal there for someone that I considered really close to me was really heartbreaking, because this was my close friend I had for a very long time. We went to school together, and this is someone I really clinged on to.
How did that affect you?
That affected me a lot with my other friendships. I thought everyone was going to be out here to betray me. No one really likes me. It made me even more insecure within myself. Mm-hmm. It made me think, I'm such a bad person. I'm such a bad friend. Why would she want to do that to me? When I was trying to build new relationships, in the back of my mind, I still had it there. Even sometimes I would overcompensate with our friendship. One time I bought lavish gifts for her just to show that I'm trying to win her back. But then she still went and did that. And then it was just really, really hurtful for me. Mm-hmm. And then when I got in another relationship with my love life, mm-hmm. He betrayed me with a friend as well. He betrayed me with a friend. And I was like, why is all my friends like this? They were seeing each other behind my back again. They were really intimate. Then I found out through messages on her phone. They were sending inappropriate messages to each other. So
it was your you had a boyfriend. That's later on.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. How long were you with him? How long were you together?
We were together for, let's say, we were just starting off. I'm going to be honest, we were starting off. And I did ask her, because she was friends with him, I asked her, is there anything wrong with me seeing this person? Is there anything between you two? She looked at me in the eye and said, no, it's fine. Mm-hmm. Go ahead with it. That's perfectly fine.
And later on, you find out that the person that you considered a friend is not the same one from
No, this
from
is
before. There's another person.
2 different friends.
Was actually involved with him, right? Romantically speaking,
Yes,
also. So when that happens, now it's the second time. What did you do? What were the thoughts? How was your mindset?
My
after
mind
that?
was, I really liked him. So to me, it was like, how could she do this? I didn't look at him. To me, it was just like, how could you do this? I was emotional, I was breaking down. Again, it's adding more and more to the insecurity within myself. I thought, am I that much of a bad person? I also was overweight at the time. So again, I was more eating a bit more. I wanted to just forget about it. I thought the best thing for me to do is to work. Sometimes to harbor my feelings or to avoid my feelings, I would just want to work. I just want to work. I didn't want to think about it because I used to cry a lot. It used to make me really emotional about how can my friend do this to me? How can this do this to me?
You turned to work, right? You said, I'm going to just dive into my work in order to like just be numb, like forget, right? Some people turn to alcohol, others turn to drugs, others to other friends, others to entertainment, whatever. You turn to work. But did working, filling yourself up with work, did that fill the gap?
No, it didn't. If anything, it made it worse because when I came back from work, I would be even more alone. So this led to me sleeping around. This led me being involved intimately with other males and just not caring about my value. So I just wanted to be like, okay, that's fine, this guy.
This is the point where I wanted to get, Ronica, because there are certain issues. Of course, nobody's perfect. No human being is perfect. We all have our weaknesses. We all have our gaps. And I am also not saying that when we learn the power of faith and as we develop a closer relationship with God, that these weaknesses magically disappear, because that's not how it happens. But the thing is, when you learn to use the power of faith and you start to get closer to God, then He starts to help you. He starts to fill the gaps that alcohol cannot fill, work cannot fill, friends cannot fill. There's a part that, for instance, we all need friends, right? It's good to have good friends. No one can live isolated. I just said in the beginning, be fully happy, isolated from everyone. So there's a part for friends. There's a part for romantic relationship, right? Most people, they do want to get married. A part for children, family. And there is this part for God. We were created by God with this space, with this gap, that only a relationship with Him can fill. Once again, I have to always mention this, because as soon as we say the word God, many people automatically say, oh, it's a turn off to me, I'm not religious. I'm not saying you have to be religious. It's like, it's difficult for some people to understand, and I don't know why, that when you speak about God, you're not necessarily connecting God to a religion. God never said in His Word, in any of His Word, that you have to be a member of religion A, B, or C. Even Jesus did things that got religious people of the time very angry. Actually, it was the religious people of the time who stirred up the crowd against Him. So, we're speaking about having a relationship with God. For instance, insecurities, bitterness, certain disappointment that you come across in life, things you are not prepared for, things that really, life threw you a curveball, and it was like a shock when you find out, like it was a shock when you found out you were betrayed first by your own best friend, secondly by someone who you got involved with as a boyfriend, that you were beginning to build a relationship. And if this has damaged you, friends, so once again, get help. If you want a change, I promise you, by speaking to an advisor from Finding Answer, you're not going to hear anything negative. Okay, we promise that. We commit to that. We commit to giving you a word that will inspire you, praying for you, helping you. I guarantee you that if you call, if you're having problems, if you're not having problems, evidently, you don't need to call. Actually, this program is not targeted to people who are perfectly fine and everything is okay. Probably, you would find something more interesting to watch than this. But if you are having problems, or if you want to learn how to get closer to God, I promise you, if you call, you're going to be better off. You are going to feel better. You are going to be in a better situation, a better spot than you are right now. 0207-686-6300. Sorry, I spoke for a while to explain this, Louise, but now I want to hear from you, and in your case.
In my case, it started when, I'd say, towards the end of secondary school. And I had a certain group of friends that they were quite admired by a lot of the male students in our school. But I wasn't one of those girls. I was kind of like, the girl that everyone sees as the brother, if that makes sense. So I kind of started to associate myself with a different group of friends. And in this group of friends, one of them actually was going out with a very close, say, family friend / cousin. And so then, as I was friends with her, she was also like, bringing me into their circle of friends. And through this circle of friends, I met someone who was very close with my family friend / relative. And we started getting involved, and then we got into a relationship which was on and off for about 3 to 4 years. At that point, I was quite insecure anyways, and I wasn't really a person who saw myself getting a relationship. So when I got in a relationship with him, it was like he was my world. I did everything for him. It was a thing where I just gave my all. And something that you mentioned earlier about the whole extreme, I went the whole extreme. I didn't, have a certain level of guard. I wasn't intelligent about it. I just gave my all, went with all my emotions. And within about 2 years of us seeing each other and being heavily intimate with each other, I found out through my friend, who was the one dating my family relative, that my best friend had slept with him. And what had happened is I wasn't there, like, how should I say, in that environment at that time, but my friend was. And she was basically a witness. She heard noises and things like that, and there was other people who vouched for it. And I remember there was one period of time where I was in the environment, and the way that the guy was treating me was completely different to how he usually was. And I could see that he was evidently flirting with my best friend in my face. So I kind of thought I was going crazy, but I put two and together and I said, no, they're doing something. Because already I had that kind of paranoia in me. I was very insecure already. So in a way, I don't know if it was my gut instinct, but something was telling me there was something going on between them. And I didn't really speak about it or vocalize it, but then one day I sat down with my friend who was dating my cousin, and I said to her, something keeps telling me that something's going on between them. And then she goes, how did you know? And I said, what do you mean, how did I know? And she was like, sorry to break it to you, but they slept together and I was present in the house. And I was just there, I was like, I knew it. And then that just made me so angry, made me so bitter. I didn't even know what to do with myself. All my confidence, well, the little that I had of it went out of the window. And so the thing she was saying to me, oh, don't confront them, don't say anything because it's going to cause problems for me and her relationship with her boyfriend because they were close. So everything just became very messy and very sticky. But it was a thing where I didn't have any peace. It was eating at me. And so it got to a point where I had to confront them. And I said, look, this is the situation. I know you guys have been messing about behind my back. Just come out with it. And they denied it. And so when they denied it, I said, friend, are you not going to support me? And she did. She actually said, I know what I heard and I know you guys. So then what happened is they turned against her. And even her boyfriend was saying to her, don't get involved. Bearing in mind, this is my family friend / cousin. So he was like to her, don't get involved. This is none of your business. As far as we're concerned, we don't know anything. So it was a thing because no one was admitting. And even though I knew the truth deep down and my friend knew the truth, it was a thing where it had to just be the dust underneath the carpet.
So that's what happened. I was still, associate myself with the friends and that group of circle, and stupidly, I was still seeing the guy. And because there was this emotional connection, there was this attachment that I didn't have the strength to let go of it. So
you were too emotionally attached.
Yeah.
I have to make a stop here, Louise, because what you said is very important. Because love can't be 100% emotional. And maybe some people watching now, they just looked at the screen and said, what did he say? That's exactly right. Love cannot be emotional. It has to be intelligent. Because you see, the emotional connection was there. But intelligence was showing you. This guy, he's cheated on you, has lied, cheated with your best friend. It's like not caring for you at all, but still the heart, the emotions, no, but it's fine, you love him, and this is why, Louise, so many people, even watching us now, suffer. Because God created us with the head on top of the heart. But some people, they want to twist that. They want to put the heart on top and the head at the bottom and say, no, I have no control of my heart. No, we can. We can say, listen, even though I like this person, the heart likes, but if I get into a relationship with this person, I'm going to get hurt. This person is up to no good. He has hurt everyone. Like there's a queue of people, that have been hurt by this person. And what makes you believe that you are going to be the one that's going to make the exception? Let the person change first. There has to be clear signs of change. Otherwise, sorry, you're just another casualty of this. I want to continue hearing about this from both of you, but we have to go to a break. Remember, at any given time, do call us, 0207-686-6300, okay? And we will pray with you towards the end of tonight's episode. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
So, maybe you're thinking about making some big changes or setting some ambitious goals for yourself. Maybe you want to lose 20 pounds or read through the Bible. Maybe you want to run a marathon or repair a broken relationship. Whatever your big goal is, the temptation is to expect to go straight from here to here, or from here to here. The reality is, there are a lot of small steps between big decisions and big results. Challenges and obstacles await. At some point, you might even want to quit. But stand firm. Don't be disappointed with slow progress. Don't be overwhelmed by the destination. Rather, focus on what you can do today. Skip dessert. Read a chapter. Go for a run. Make a phone call. The more difficult the journey, the more rewarding the destination. And it can all start today with just one small step.
Come on, spin me around now, I don't wanna go home. 'Cause when you hold me like this, my heart skips a beat. I know I should, but I can't leave it alone. And when you hold me like this, that's when my heart skips a beat. You gotta love this, man. So work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
My Channel TV, featuring a kaleidoscopic daily dose of programming. Stay with us every day and explore politics, economics, science, technology, lifestyle, culture, sports, and much more. We're here to amuse you, to keep you updated, and to keep you company. We're My Channel, your channel on Sky 203.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. We're talking about betrayal, and I have here Louise and Ronica sharing with us the experience they had with betrayal and how they were able to overcome. So you were explaining, Louise, before the break that it was a total confusion, right?
Yeah.
So how did things end up and how did they change?
So as we continued having this relationship, he moved abroad, and so we started having a long distance relationship. And the thing is at that time, again, it was still kind of eating me, but I was trying so much to forgive within my strength, but it wasn't happening. There will always be something that would keep popping up, And it came to a point where this friend actually stayed in my house for a little while. And I remember speaking to the guy that I was in a relationship, and I said to him, I was kind of at breaking point at that point. I said, look, if we're going to continue, I need you to answer me this one question. And he said to me, ask me no questions, hear no lies. And I said to him, what does that mean? He was like, oh, just, I don't want you to ask me anything that might hurt your feelings. And then automatically he ran to my friend and was like, have you told her? Have you told her? Have you told her? But then eventually he messaged me back and he said, I'm going to be honest with you. It's true. All your suspicions throughout the years, I did sleep with your best friend. And I said, okay. And then that was what gave me the strength to kind of be like, okay, that's enough now. And then I confronted my friend who was staying at the time. But at that point, I had so much anger, so much bitterness, because she was going through her own problems. And I said, get out of my house. And she was like to me, where am I going to stay? I said, I don't care. But then again, being the person that I was like, okay, fine, you know what? I can't kick you out on the street because I don't have a heart like that. But you're going to stay downstairs and I don't want to see your face. And so, again, I was walking around with this bitterness. I said, forget any kind of chance of relationship. I don't trust no female anymore. I don't want to be tied down like this anymore. I just don't. So I became reckless. I became very promiscuous. I was, not valuing myself, a lot of things. And then even, again, I went back into the relationship with the guy. He came back and we got back in a relationship. We became intimate again. And this chain, it was like a repeated cycle. I found out that he was, again, sleeping with another girl. And literally after we became intimate again, he brought out a scan of a photo saying that that's his child that he's expecting with this girl. And that was the finishing point for me.
So, Louise, the problem with you was, mostly insecurity, but with you was probably a level of insecurity too, but you didn't love yourself, right? We can see that because, and if you don't love yourself, you cannot love anyone, right? First thing that we learn as we get closer to God is that He loves us. If He loves us the way we are, so we must love ourselves also. Jesus never said love your neighbor above yourself. He said love your neighbor as you love yourself. So I have to love myself. You cannot love someone else if you don't love yourself. Since we have a short space of time here before the prayer, Louise, how was it that you changed? Then I will speak to Ronica. How was it that you were able to overcome? Both of you. You first.
So for me, it came down to forgiveness. One thing that my faith was really teaching me, especially as I was starting, was really just learning to forgive, because I was understanding that all these grudges, this bitterness, keep thinking about the past, everything that this is so had done to me wasn't affecting them. As far as I could see, they weren't changing, but I was getting worse. And in order for me to be able to start again, for me to be free, have that peace, I had to forgive, I had to let go once and for all and just move on.
How did you find the strength to forgive?
Through God and through prayer, through God, literally, and also just hearing messages about in order for me to be forgiven, because I had to kind of think about myself as well, maybe not necessarily in that situation, but things that I had done to other people that, to be honest, I may not have even known that we're holding grudges, but I had to acknowledge that I myself wasn't perfect in either the relationship or in general. And I saw that the way that my faith taught me that, in order for Jesus to forgive me, I have to also forgive others. And I wasn't going to allow that to hinder me. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to lay it down. I'm going to give it to God and move on.
So at some point you decided that you had to get closer to God.
Yeah.
That you had to learn about the power of faith.
Yes.
And in doing that, you found the strength. You forgave.
Yes.
In a few seconds, how do you see yourself today? What kind of person are you today?
For me, first of all, I see myself getting married because I didn't before. And God taught me that to have His eyes in valuing myself as well. So I don't need to have to give myself away or, you know, just, how should I say, cling on to the little bit of attention that I get, because I know my worth, I know my value. And in that also, I'm able to, if people do things against me, to be honest, I even forget. I'm very forgetful in that sense because I don't see it worth it. I don't see it worth it, just holding on to things.
Holding on to this grudge, right?
This is it.
Very good. In your case, Ronica, how was it that you overcame the insecurity and the damages from the betrayals?
For me, one thing, just linking on, adding to what Louise said, was about forgiveness. So he put me through a lot because after that whole situation, like Louise said, I ended up getting back involved with him as well. Then at one point, we got really intimate. I suffered a miscarriage and he gave me a really tough time for it. Then when I was learning about faith and I was learning how to change, how to be better, I thought the best thing to do was to forgive him. Then in that moment, he told me that he was having a child. And I thought to myself, how is that even possible after the whole situation that we went through? You were ready to abort the child, everything like that. So to me, the only thing I had to realize was find the root of the problem. My root of the problem all comes back to childhood. My root of the problem was the bitterness of how I felt when I was a child, and how that was affecting me. Really dealing with that insecurity, that instability of not having both parents when I was growing up. So then that's what made me really deal with that. Then I was able to forgive. And when I was getting closer to God, I had to be open. I had to be, God, this is how I really feel. Because I grew up in a place where, it's all about God and God, but it was just really much routine. Mm-hmm. Routine, you do this, you get told what to do. But when I was hearing messages about be open, be sincere, and I was like, really? I remember getting on my, praying and saying to God, this is how I really feel. He really hurt me, and crying. And there was no one I could speak to about it because I knew in that moment only God could help me. So what really helped me change was seeing Louise's change, because when I started seeing her grow, that's what made me more interested to find out more about God. And that's when she invited me to the place that she was attending as well. So I was like, okay, my friend's going, because she was my friend. So I was like, okay, she's going, and okay, let me give this a try. Even when I thought, God, can you really change me? Can you really help me? Because in my head I was thinking, oh, you're just like man. You're just like man, you're going to betray me as well, you're going to leave me, I'm going to end up being bitter, and I had to just let that go.
Mm-hmm. So you were able to forgive?
I was able to forgive.
You overcame the insecurities?
Insecurities.
No more bitterness?
No more bitterness. I had to find a word that was for me. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that really helped me, was to find that one word that's for me. Mm-hmm. Because insecurities was in my mind. Because I wasn't sure, I didn't have that certainty. But when I was learning more about God, that God is my certainty, then I'll be able to find that one word for me. I was able to be more open, to be like, okay, it wasn't meant to be, that's fine. There's not a problem about it. You do what you do, I do what I need to do, and move on. The past is in your mind. I was a slave to my memories. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was really bitter, and I was, in my friendships, and even with my friendship with Louise, it was kind of like, okay, eggshells. But at the end of the day, it was, we both gave God a try, and that's what really helped.
Good. So what have we spoken about? We've spoken about faith helped you find the root of your problem, overcome the problem, forgive, right? Value yourself. All these plus everything else that they told, weight the contents of what you're talking about. You're talking about faith. In no moment here we said religion A, B, or C. Evidently, when we speak about God, we're speaking about Jesus. We're speaking about the Bible as the Word of God. If you put your faith in this Word, you won't be betrayed. I guarantee you. There's someone who will never betray you. He was betrayed. but he never betrayed anyone. He's God, he's Jesus. And I ask you, dear viewer, until when are you going to be this person from one extreme to the other? Either you hate everyone or you're too giving. Either you're too angry or you're too passive. You're too this or too that. Until when? Until when, because you can learn to find the point of balance. It doesn't have to be that ideal, perfect point of balance, but there is a safe range, that you can be in. And faith can help you do that. Faith can help you understand that no matter what happened to you in your past, you're not damaged goods. Okay? Don't say that. Don't label yourself, I'm damaged goods, I don't care anymore. No. God cares about you. He can help you. But the only thing he can't do is to force you to come to him. They came. They're here talking about the change. We saw Lisa in the beginning talking about how developing a relationship with God really helped her overcome. Do you want the same? Do you want to get rid of this emptiness? Do you want to overcome bitterness and have peace? Come to God. Call us right now if you want. Include your name in prayer. We are going to go to a break. And when we come back, we'll be joining faith, praying together for the healing of your soul. Right? If you have any physical pain, we're going to pray for your healing, the physical healing too, but mainly, especially tonight, for the healing of your soul, that you may find peace. Okay, I guarantee you, you will have a good experience if you pray with us. Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we'll be joining faith and pray.
DKW, a different kind of woman. So I want to find out if you might have dyslexia.
My memory's not too good today.
And it's almost like you have to be this superwoman.
Years and years ago when I watched Titanic, and obviously My Heart Will Go On came on, and it just brought me back to that time.
And I was with 4 other sisters. Lord have mercy. So you know how they were. You're not gonna go over there and say nothing.
Come on, a little closer now, and let me know that you're mine. Woo!
It's going to be your turn to do your macaroons. No competition.
We're here at Britain's Top Designer 2015.
This is DKW. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
The pursuit of happiness. What will make you happy? Success? Fame? New shoes? Financial security? Love? Education? Independence? Family? Sometimes in the pursuit of things we think will bring us happiness, sometimes we fail to see that we aren't happy, or we never find it. We live in a world of people. Rather than pursue things to make you happy, what if we all worked to make each other happy? Wouldn't we all be happier?
I had many problems growing up because my mum had me at a very young age, and like my dad, he was never part of my life. And when I was like 9 months old, my mum got into a relationship which is now my stepdad. And moving here to London,
like me and my stepdad didn't get along. Up to this day, I don't know what it was, but he just didn't like me. He would make sure like that there was a difference between me and my brother, where he would treat us very differently. And you know, my mom would always take his side just to prevent like arguments, because if she took my side, then that would cause more arguments and stuff like that. So growing up, I felt very like left out. I feel like the black sheep of the family. I always thought like I was a mistake from my mom's past. So when like I hit my teenage years, I started looking for that love and that attention elsewhere. So I got into the wrong sort of friendships, and those friendships caused me to have like my first boyfriend. And because I was I can say I was innocent, and he was much older than me, and because he showed me that care and that love and attention I never had at home, so I fell into his arms and I made him my world in a way. And because obviously my parents didn't agree with it, once they found out, they explained to me like, oh, that I'm too young to have a boyfriend, so on. But I didn't listen to them, because in my eyes, they were trying to like take away the only thing that made me happy. I had to end the relationship because there was no other way like we could be together. Literally, I felt like I lost who I was. I didn't know who I was anymore. I was just going with the flow, I guess. I was just going like with what life gave me. Today, I can actually say that I love my life, because I can see everything has fallen into place. Like today, I don't feel the way I used to feel anymore inside. Today, I can say I have peace, I'm happy, I love who I am, I love who I'm becoming. I can say that today I have a great relationship with my family, with my brothers and sisters and my parents. Like me and my mom, we have like the closest relationship. I feel like I can tell her anything. I have conquered the job that I've always wanted, and I feel like I'm really growing in life. I'm 19 years old, but I feel like my life is coming into place, and I'm like fighting for what I want, and I feel like I can achieve anything because of the positivity that I have inside, and just the fact that I'm happy and I know I'm a strong person.
Well, dear friend, the time has come, the time for prayer. So I have here this book. It has the name of some people who asked for prayer, and you who also called us. We're going to be joining faith now and pray on your behalf. It's a moment of prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer for your health and general well-being, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
God, right now, we ask you with all our faith on behalf of this viewer who's being hurt, disappointed, frustrated, angry because of some kind of betrayal. This person actually suffered something they didn't do anything to deserve, to be betrayed. They trusted, and the trust they gave was taken for granted. Help this person see, God, that even though they were the victim of betrayal, it's those who betray that are actually on the losing side. Because when we are victims of some kind of injustice and we cry out to you, we have a claim. We have a claim because you are the righteous judge. You say that you abide in a high and holy place, but also with the one that is humble, with the one that is contrite of heart, with the one that is broken, my Lord. And maybe this is what defines this viewer who is now praying with us. They've been broken. I pray that the same Spirit that helped Lisa, the lady we saw in the beginning, Agnes, the video we just played now, Louise and Ronica, the guest here tonight, may now work to lift this person up, to strengthen them wherever they are. Wherever you are, believe that God is with you. And if you connect with Him right now, even if you say one or two words just to say, God, help me right now. See me here, help me, stretch out your hand and help me. You receive help from Him. Wherever you are, watching us from your workplace, from home, from your bedroom, maybe even, I don't know, even behind bars, whatever the case may be, in a hospital bed, God touches you right now. He heals your soul, in your body. God, we pray for all those who called us, also who include their name in the book, and we bless the water, energize it through your power, so when this person drinks, they are being touched by you. In Jesus' name we pray. If you agree, only say amen, and you can drink the water. Well, we believe you're blessed. This is it from us tonight. But don't forget to watch tomorrow. Pastor Michael Boudram is going to be joining us on a very special edition of Finding Answers. Till then, God bless you. Good night.